What's up, everybody? Maine Fly Guys here with another tutorial. Gonna tie in a Griffith Gnat today. It's kind of a variation. So I'm gonna tie in my hackle. What I've done is I've stripped half of it so that only one side has fibers. Tie that in. Then we're gonna tie in some peacock herl. There's a shiny side and a non-shiny side. You want to line them both up so they're facing the same way, and I like to point the shiny side down. That will allow for the shiny fibers to point up when you wrap it. So wrap it back to where you want it. There we go. And wrap forward, locking it all in. I stop where I want my middle section to begin, and what I'm going to do is put a red floss middle section. So here's my red floss. It's just going to be a small midsection, nothing very big, maybe 2 eye lengths long. And so what I'm going to do is wrap it back to where I want it to start. So right there I want it to start, and then I'm going to wrap forward where I want it to end. And right about there is good. Just maybe an eye length and a half long, 2 eye lengths long. So then I'll go back, lock it in where I want it to start, and I'll start wrapping my peacock herl. Tight wraps when you're wrapping the peacock herl, and if you use 2 fibers, you can obviously use 1 if you want, but they'll splay a little bit, and that's okay, don't worry. You don't want them to splay too much though. Now this pattern's kind of matching a terrestrial, kind of an ant, if you will, but alright, so once I've reached my spot where my red floss is, I'm just going to lock it in. And don't worry, because we're going to use the red floss to kind of cover up this part at the end here. Alright, so now we're going to wrap with the hackle. And you can use hackle pliers if you want. But I'm not going to. And we're just going to keep doing should have used hackle pliers, which I will now. There we go. Got a rotary vise, might as well use it. We all make mistakes. Alright, so wrap forward. I don't like it to be too bushy, so I only do a few wraps. With the hackle. Maybe 4 per section, and then 1 right over the section where I want to start my red floss. So I'll lock that in. Be careful not to trap any fibers. 2 or 3 wraps, lock it in. Give it a snip. Alright, so that looks pretty good. There's a few fibers pointing forward. You can just trim those if you want. There we go, a nice little bushy back section. So now, before I wrap my red floss, I'm going to tie in the other stuff out front. Actually, well, I'm going to show you the reason why I would do that. Okay, so now I'm going to do my red body, and be careful not to trap any fibers. And this floss just kind of adds some extra layers and just kind of gives it this nice little hut spot. And I just do a couple wraps over it so that it's pretty thick. Alright, that's pretty good. And then trap it in where you want your next section to begin. And that actually turned out alright. Alright, so there's our nice red floss body. Now I'll come in again with the hackle. I've stripped on the same thing. I've stripped one side down. I'm going to tie that in at the front, making sure that my fibers are pointed down. There we go. And then I'm going to wrap backwards to where I want it to start. Okay. Then I'm going to move forward a little bit again. And I'm going to take, again, two strands of peacock herl, line them up, same thing as last time. It's a little difficult to line them up, but just take your time. Tie them in and then work backwards to the same exact point as your hackle. And then trim them a little bit. Be careful not to crowd the eye. And then we can just sort of make it all neat. Again, I'd leave just a little teeny bit of space at the eye. So now we'll wrap these moving forward. There we go. I just lock it in once, twice, and you're good. And we'll use the hackle pliers for this one. And again, don't wrap over the portion in the middle, because we want that to be free. Alright, so I've done my wraps right to the eye. I'm going to lock it in once, 2 times, just to give it a little snug. I just do 1 wrap out front just to be sure. And then we can just trim the excess. Now, so there's our bug. It looks pretty good, a little fluffy. And now I like to make just a little red head, just a small one, nothing too big. Once you have made your little red head, so there it is, I'm going to whip finish, and I'm going to whip finish towards the back. So if you build the head up too much out front, it'll just slip right off the eye. Be careful not to trap any fibers. 2, 3, and I'll do a 4th one for good measure. There's my 4 wraps. Trim your thread. And I'm going to put a small drop of glue on the head just to be sure, because it is kind of a delicate pattern and it will break if not properly secured. So there we have it, just a quick gnat, a good summertime pattern, very buggy. You can obviously change the colors. I used red, but you know, I've done very well with the yellow as well. Very buggy, floats really well, and fish seem to love it. If you want to make the butt section a little smaller and the head portion a little bigger as far as the peacock curl is, that's fine. I haven't really noticed a difference, but there it is, sort of a Griffith Gnat variation. Thanks for watching. If you want to check out some more fishy business of ours, you can check us out on Instagram at Maine Fly Guys. Please subscribe to our YouTube page, and thanks for watching.